I have now looked at 2 of Valox's fantastic Fnaf VHS videos, and they have been amazing, and the man himself has released yet another video in the Return to Freddys, with this being called The Return to Freddys, Episode 3, Rebranding 83. I'm going to be looking at the video and going over it and breaking down its small details and looking at the possibilities of a sequel. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, links down in the description. Also go check out the original video, link also in the description. And without wasting any more power, let's begin the night. As you might know, I like to read the descriptions of all the Fnaf VHS videos, but especially Valox's. Here it says the following. Recorded December 3rd, 1983. Henry Emily, the beloved co-founder of the iconic Freddy'S family diner, tragically took his own life at home last night, leaving the community in mourning. Emily, once celebrated for his contribution to family entertainment, had lived a reclusive life since the tragic death of his daughter, Charlotte, who was killed outside the diner years ago in an unsolved case. While some speculate that guilt over his daughter's death may have driven him to that tragic end, others allure to foul play, tying both deaths to Fazbear Entertainment and fueling conspiracy theories about corporate corruption and cover-ups. As the investigation unfolds, mourners have begun leaving tributes at an old diner honoring Emily's enduring legacy and grappling with the mysteries surrounding his family's heartbreaking story. With this, let's watch the tape. The tape begins as a commercial on Freddy'S family diner, but the camera cuts from the ad to the living room. We hear a man crying in the background. The TV volume is up and the music overpowers the noise. We return full screen to the ad, and the announcer in the commercial gives the viewers a summary of the company's history, saying that Freddy'S started back in 1973, founded by 2 businessmen who wanted to bring joy and entertainment to the children. A picture of both William and Henry is shown. The ad continues and we see glimpses and photos of Freddy'S, with Fredbear himself standing next to Spring Bonnie. Some more photos are shown and the narrator begins to talk about how the business and success over the years has begun to fade. He continues talking about how the company has faced many challenges, but before he can give more detail, the tape glitches out and the words appear on screen, saying, "Dad, stop." It cuts to black. For a moment, we faintly see Golden Freddy amongst the darkness twitching. We return, but the ad is gone. Instead, it's footage from the Bite of 83, this being a previous video Valox has done from before. Here we see Michael and Evan, but on the bottom of the screen, we then see the words, "Evan's death was not your fault." It disappears. We see Evan forced in Freddy'S mouth. Freddy'S jaws is clamping down on his lifeless body. The tape begins to glitch out yet again. Words appear, now reading, "Don't do it," and "Mine wasn't either." We quickly cut to 3 different scenes here. The first being the inside of Freddy'S diner. It shows kids looking out the window at something going on outside. The second is of a car driving down an empty road at night. And the final shot is of a man and a child. We return to the real world and the words appear on screen. "I'm outside, it's me," as the door handle next to the TV begins to budge, as if something is trying to come in. Finally, here we see a photo of a dead girl before the ad begins to play normally again. While all this is happening, the cries of Henry can be heard in the background. They escalate and we hear a gunshot. The only thing heard from now on is just the TV. We go back to full screen and the narrator begins to talk about the future of the franchise, announcing a total rebrand, a new name, Freddy Fazbear's, a revamped location in a mall, new games, new rides, and of course, new characters. We're introduced to Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The narrator now sounding more optimistic about the future. We then see a picture of the outside of Freddy'S family diner. We continue as the ad promises to keep the charm that Freddy'S had been bringing to people and hoping that people will return to help Freddy Fazbear's be successful. With the rebrand comes new measures for safety, and the narrator ensures that the new locations will have security officers on site. As we're shown the inside of a security office, the tape once again glitches out and cuts out. We come back to security footage from inside the pizzeria, and we see a security guard who is just scared for his life. The man's screams are horrifying as Freddy is chasing him to the office. He tries to close the door, but it stops, and Freddy grabs him, pulling him out of the office and bites his head right off. Freddy then looks at the camera as his eyes change from green to red. We cut back to the ad and he continues to talk about the future of the franchise, announcing a new show, Freddy and Friends on Tour. He closes out with more footage of kids playing arcade games and in the ball pit and eating some good looking pizza. The final shot of the ad is this one, Freddy Fazbear's, where fantasy and fun come to life. The camera cuts to the living room where this ad was playing and we see the room with blood on the coffee table. Along with that, the marionettes peeking through the window. With this, it cuts to black, ending the tape. Okay, there's a lot to look at here. Let's go back to the beginning. So the man crying we know is Henry, and the picture is both of Henry and William Afton. If you look closer, words quickly appear on the top right of the photo that says, "It's me." Also, the photo of William really looks like Matthew Lillard, so that's pretty cool. Now, the words with the type of font and the color appear all throughout the tape, but who is saying these things? Well, some might say that it's Golden Freddy, but in my opinion, based off what makes more sense, I think that it's the marionette. Now, it could be a culmination of the both, but mainly the marionette speaking to her father, Henry. When the camera cuts to black showing Golden Freddy, this supports the multiple voice theory I have. When we see the shot of the Bite of 83, the words tell the viewer, who is Henry, that Evan's death was not your fault, and don't do it. And finally, mine wasn't either. Here, Charlotte is telling her father that the death of Evan isn't on Henry. It was a tragic accident, and just because he co-owns the place doesn't mean it's his fault Evan was killed. When she tells her father, don't do it, she's trying to stop him from committing. When she says mine wasn't either, we cut to the outside of Freddy's. As we know, William Afton's first victim was Charlotte, who was murdered outside of the diner. That's why we see the silhouette of the puppet in this scene. She fails to stop her father, and for the rest of the video, she stops talking to the tape. As we see the revamped and new mall location, it sets it up for the next videos in the series. This video is the first of the trilogy of tapes, this one being set in 1983, while the other two are set in 1985 and 1986. Continuing on, we see the inside of the pizzeria we're familiar with. The security camera footage seen here is from the future, with the date of 2/4/86. Now, this here is unrelated to the previous tapes. This must have been from a very unlucky security guard. Rest in peace to my boy. Now, as to why Freddy's eyes glow red, this could mean because the animatronics are angry, that their souls are not resting, that they are doomed to walk in the earth, trapped under the metal and wires. Moving on with the announcement of Freddy and Friends on tour, it shows how the company wanted the public to completely forget about the tragedies that have occurred in their establishments. In the final moments of the tape, when the camera zooms out to reveal the living room, we do see the blood of Henry on the table, since it makes sense he did shoot himself. The blood would splatter in most directions, but as I keep watching the scene over and over, there's no body. Now, I'm not sure if maybe it's off camera and Valox didn't want to get in trouble with YouTube by showing a gruesome body, or if it's because of lore reasons. I'm leaning towards the first point. With the puppet peeking in the window, it can be safe to assume that she's sad and angry that she couldn't stop her father from doing this to himself, and probably even more angry that William pushed him to do this. I also wanted to mention how the entire commercial here was stylized in the way of Fnaf Pizza Simulator, so that was pretty cool. I wanted to give my thoughts on this one. I really enjoyed it. It has an overall pretty dark theme to it. In my opinion, this might be the darkest tape because it dealt with suicide, and hearing him crying and shooting himself is disturbing, but it ain't FNAF if it isn't disturbing. The animation here is always fantastic. The voice acting was great for both the commercial and the security guard. Some great stuff here. I'm very excited to see the series continue. In terms of a sequel prediction, I would like to see the puppet and the animatronics get some revenge on William for his wrongdoings, but whatever the next episode is, I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. I also want to say thank you guys so much for the recent channel support. It has been amazing. Thank you for the likes and the views. We are close to 1,000 subscribers, so that is insane. So please make sure to subscribe and like the video anyway. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.